Friends, what is going on? Greg Newmaster here, coming at you with another action figure review. I just received this in the mail the other day. Got it on eBay for a good price. I think I paid like $32, which is good to get it sooner. I really love this Spider-Man Retro series from Marvel Legends. Today I have Marvel Legends Retro Gwen Stacy with the interchangeable Mary Jane head. I was really excited to get this. I really love this series so far. I mean, mostly it's been based on the Spider-Man cartoon. So we've had the Peter Parker, even though his body resembles the body from the cartoon. However, his head came with glasses to evoke sort of the comic book high school Peter Parker. We had the Green Goblin, there's Daredevil, and this is, I think, one of the more prized figures, Gwen Stacy. Gwen Stacy, what can you say about her? Such a interesting, sometimes controversial figure in the Spider-Verse. The first love of Peter Parker, went on to become such a great character, but the writers have done some weird things with her over the years. Obviously, she's most famous for being Peter's first love and then dying at the hands of Norman Osborn, Green Goblin. And then they brought her back, and then they showed in the regular continuity that she had an affair and had twins with Norman, which was some of the worst writing and most disrespectful things that they could have done to that character. Granted, they want to sell comic books and they got to do controversial things, but they totally redeemed her with Spider-Gwen in the Ultimate Universe. She's been on screen twice in the movies. She was played wonderfully by Emma Stone. I really liked the Amazing Spider-Man films. I just thought, I thought Andrew Garfield was a really good Spider-Man. They weren't perfect. They didn't get it perfectly, but as like a more mature Spider-Man, I liked him a lot. And the chemistry between him and Emma Stone was excellent. And she played Gwen Stacy. So this is from the most famous Spider-Man, one of the most famous Spider-Man comic storylines ever, the night Gwen Stacy died. Amazing Spider-Man 121, 122. Green Goblin captures her. Spider-Man tries to track him down to rescue her. Green Goblin tosses Gwen Stacy off a bridge. Spider-Man tries to catch her with a web as she's falling off a bridge, catches her feet, and the tension from his web snaps her neck right as she gets to the end of the line. Her head whips back and I guess her neck breaks. This forever alters Spider-Man psychologically, and granted, this man has had tons of suffering up to this point. I mean, obviously with the original death of Uncle Ben, which causes him to take up the mantle of Spider-Man as a superhero instead of making money off of him as a professional wrestler. Then Gwen's dad, Captain Stacy, dies because of Dr. Octopus. And then Gwen dies. So a lot of suffering in Spider-Man's life, and I think this is one of the most traumatic events of his life. And I don't know, people in the comic movie world are divided. Like, who do you like better, Peter and Gwen, or Peter and Mary Jane? So it's hard to say. Gwen was always a little more sophisticated than Mary Jane. She was smart like Peter. Mary Jane was beautiful and like the party girl. So it was kind of weird when Peter and Mary Jane got together, especially for how much of a connection him and Gwen Stacy had. So anyhow, with this figure, which I'm really excited for, I was looking forward to, this is the classic look of Gwen Stacy. We also get an interchangeable Mary Jane head where she has the traditional short bangs in the front. And I'll show you the other Mary Jane figure I have So here's the packaging. This is the cartoon logo from the 90s. Love it. There's the back. So you get a Spider-Man figure, Electro, Peter Parker, Green Goblin, and Daredevil. And there's also a Kingpin, a retro Kingpin. But I was super excited to get this figure. Couldn't wait. Love this series. It comes on a card, like the classic figures. It's glued to a card. So I don't really care about the packaging, but I wanted to show you guys it nice. So I cut it with an X-Acto knife. That's one way you can do it. So here she is. I love this head sculpt. Looks so good. Look at that head sculpt. It looks really well done. So here's the other Gwen Stacy figure I had. So this is the Spider-Gwen figure I had, and this is straight up Emma Stone. Like, look at that likeness, and this is way more comic book version Gwen, which I like a lot better. Nothing against Emma Stone. I just always really like the comic book version. She has the headband, the bangs, the nice swooped hair. Looks like a late 60s, early 70s girl. Beautiful, jacket. She looks very stylish. The nice boots. I love when girls wear these kind of boots. They were in style for a while in the mid 2000s. Purple skirt. Look, they even did like a nice brown belt. So she looks very fashionable Gwen Stacy. Just great figure. There's a slit in the side of the skirt on the one side. So in terms of articulation, her leg can go up that far. She has a upper thigh cut even. Double jointed knees. They actually gave this figure all the nice articulation. Ankle pivot, up and down. There's a little, can't get her into super great poses, but it's just Gwen Stacy anyhow. She's not Spider-Gwen. She even has a little crunch there. She can turn. Lots of head rotation. Head can move down, up that far. Shoulders can go out that far. So you can kind of get her in that pose where she's fallen. If you want to pose Spider-Man catching her with a web. If you want to do that. Hasbro needs to do something with these women hands that they have. They always have her in the women in these jazz hand poses. And that's fine if you're like the Scarlet Witch or Storm and you're casting a spell or shooting lightning or something like that. But for just like the average girl figures, they need like a more neutral hand pose. This is like a holdy hand they have for her, so I don't know. It's like these figures have these jazz hands, like when they're just in a relaxed, neutral pose. So I don't know. There she is in the back again. There's the bottom of her feet, little pegs there. Top of her head, if you guys want to see that. Got some accessories here. This looks like a folder, like a trapper keeper. I don't know if they had trapper keepers in the 70s. Maybe it's a purse. This is a nice little touch. She has a book. It says Midtown High School. So that's where Peter, Mary Jane, and Gwen went to high school. I think Gwen went to high school with him in the comics. I can't remember. I feel like they met in college, but no, I guess she went to high school with him too. Get a copy of the Daily Bugle, which is fun. Back when people still read newspapers and didn't read everything on the internet. And let's get a look at that Mary Jane head. Really like this Mary Jane head. Looks really good. The hair sculpt looks so nice. Looks really pretty. Here she is. This is from the Mary Jane Peter 2-pack. This is a more modern look. This Mary Jane has freckles. More like the J. Scott Campbell images, drawings of her. So there's the comparison. This Mary Jane has red eyebrows. This one has a darker eyebrows. We can do a head swap for you. Ooh, be careful. Snap that off. The skin tone of these two figures don't seem to match, but that looks more like Mary Jane. Looks really good. And let's do a head swap with Gwen. And we can put the Mary Jane head on. So there's the Mary Jane on the Gwen body, which is okay, I guess. This looks more like what Gwen would wear in the comic books. You guys can see that. And we can put the Gwen head on the Mary Jane body. Kind of muscular Mary Jane body. Very fit body. Yeah, I don't know if I like the Gwen head on the Mary Jane. Let's see what this Gwen head looks on the Spider-Gwen. By the way, Mayfex is coming. Oh, look at that peg. That peg is too small. So that doesn't work, unfortunately. But Mayfex is coming out with the Spider-Gwen from the Into the Spider-Verse. So I'm really excited about that. I want to get that whole series because I love Mayfex very much. They just do great work. So one more time. There's the Gwen Stacy head. Here is the Mary Jane head. Beautiful. Wonderful figure. Like I said, picked mine up early on eBay if you can't find them on stores, in stores. And if you like the video, please like and subscribe. I'll keep making them if you guys like them. You can always use the encouragement. So more videos to come. God bless you all. Peace, guys.